Hey, Quentin.
Hey Jan, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Happy New Year, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a
It
year.
it has been so long, but
No,
hi everyone, and good to see you again. We hope that you all made it safe and sound to the new year. And could you, before we start, just quickly hit the keyboard to let us know if you can hear and see us? Because it's always exciting to set this up.
it seems to work on my computer. Hi
Hi,
Elena.
hi, Lena. That looks good. Okay.
Great.
So, Lena, did you get in the new year safe? Everything good? Yeah, now she has to
Apparently,
enter.
yes, she did. Plus,
Plus,
plus year. Plus 1 year.
great. Um, hey, George. That's nice. Hey, Eddie is here. That's nice. Nice. All right. Quentin, what are we up to today?
Well, we're gonna talk about goals and ambitions. We thought it would be a great topic to bring as we are starting a new year and people are usually like taking new resolutions at the beginning of the year or at the end of the year. So, well, we're gonna try and give some pointers and talks about how we approach things, how we see things, and try to have a conversation like the last few episodes to see if that can help you guys and give you some ideas as well. So, and perhaps even to us, because like the
Yeah.
last few talks we've had, it was extremely interesting and good for us as well. So, yeah, hopefully it will be as good this time.
Yeah, it would be great if you've got an idea or a thought that you share that with us, and let's gonna have a discussion about this. Um, but before we start right in, Quentin, did you have some smooth time before the year kicked in, or at the beginning? Were you able to take a few days off?
Ah, I wish I did. No, I took a few days off with my girlfriend, but we actually kept things busy, so we didn't really rest. But still, it was good. I mean, and I won't complain because some people lost their jobs over the past few years. Some people have changed work, and like I've got jobs over my head over the past few weeks, so I'm not gonna complain, and I feel that's great as well. I'll probably rest later in January when everyone is working and busy. I'm gonna go skiing. That's gonna be great.
Let's
Oh,
see
how
about
about you?
that.
Did you take some time off? Yeah.
Well, yeah, I
Did you take? Yeah.
over between Christmas and New Year's, we had a lot of time with our son, and it was lovely. We went ice skating almost every day and practiced. So there's this old traditional ice hockey arena here in Düsseldorf that we visited, and it became somewhat that we are aiming for to do more often, and happens to be a thing that we both like. So that's really nice. And other than that, I made some plans for this year, and I already had some meetings to set up the next projects, and it was really nice. It was a great start, and it felt right, and so all in for this new year.
Yeah. Hopefully, it will be even better than last year. And just one word before we start, because I saw in on YouTube over the past few weeks, like people going over what went on for last year and how great it was for some and how terrible it was for others. And like what we're gonna talk about today is to more try to bring you up and not to make you feel down if you are a bit down because of last year. I think it's really important to take it on the positive side today.
Absolutely. And but that is for me. I've always been an optimist, or at least always tried to see the more optimistic side, even if there were some bad news or stuff or things that I couldn't control. I always tried to see chances as well. That's me,
Yeah.
and I know that's not for everybody, and if things go wrong or if things are hard, it can be challenging. And but know that you're not alone, and I know that I'm not alone. So I can talk to you or someone else, and that's great to know. And that's one of the main reasons I think it's so valuable to connect with others, with your peers, and with other professionals in your industry. Doesn't matter what industry it is. And that being said, that's what I always try to nurture, like these relationships that really mean something to me, that keep me going when things get a little bumpy, for instance, or I don't know, just for exchange. It's always great to have someone to talk to on projects or on a certain challenge that you encounter during working on a project, for example, or I don't know. I am more a guy that reaches out to people rather than deals with everything by myself. Like, of course, I do, but before I get mad, I reach out.
I get mad
and smash the board and everything.
I smash things. I smash my head against the wall, which is why I use a hat. But
yeah.
Anyways, sorry for another day.
Anyhow, of course, there are some things that I took as some topics that I want to improve this year, and but to be fair, these things don't change that much. There's always something that I want to improve profession-wise, and there's always something that I want to improve aside from my job, like in my life or with certain trending topics that I want to know more of. So I think one thing that is very high on my list is curiosity and the urge to learn something new. And I'm trying to make sure that it never stops. So, but out of my inner curiosity, I guess that never happens. And there's so much things actually going on, right? Like technology is moving at 10x speed. It's amazing what happens, and the possibilities that we have to communicate and to educate ourselves are endless, and that's a great development, I think.
Yeah, that's so true. I mean, even in the bad stuff, I mean, great things happen. I mean, if it wasn't for COVID, I don't think we would be talking together this way. I mean, last year I wanted to bring stuff on YouTube, like interviews and podcasts with people, but I just couldn't find a way to make it easy to make it work on YouTube like we do today. And I believe that the situation over the past 2 years has helped develop new ways of communicating and helps also getting curious about new stuff as well. Because I mean, being in your house for long periods of times or not being able to do what you are used to doing on a regular basis and having to find new stuff to do. And personally, it's like you just said about curiosity. I feel like the past 2 years have just opened my eyes. I just started reading again as well, which is something I just loved and I lost. And I'm getting back into it, and I feel it's a great thing as well. And definitely curiosity is also on my top list for 2022, getting to more museums, getting to traveling a bit more, hopefully, because for the past 2 years I haven't traveled much. And I believe that's something that's important as well, to set up goals on a personal basis and not just on a business basis. Because oftentimes when we are self-employed, and especially in the creative industry, we just love what we do and we get lost into it. It's great to be able to find other ways to grow as a person as well, and not just as a business, because we are a person first and then a business. So yeah, that's curiosity is good, really good.
So
do you have any? Yeah, sorry.
Go ahead. I just wanted to say that I think we had a good way to share our points last time, and I guess it's a good idea to do it in the same manner, that we throw a few points in that we think are important on ambition and goal setting. And if you don't mind, I'll just start with my first thought. And I want to put in one that might be polarizing. And I think it is very important to set a really high ambitious goal for the long term. So for, let's say, your life. And it should be so high that it's very hard to reach. And but wait, how I mean that. It might sound a little crazy, but I think it is very important to, for instance, in my case, when I started out to become a retoucher, I said that I want to be able to pay the bills with this pen, and I said that I want to become the best retoucher in the world, and that was just a thing that I said to myself. But then I started speaking about that, and I think by saying it out loud to people, you get more serious about this goal. And but I don't mean it in a is that phony way, or not in a way that I want to show off. That's completely not the point. It's just my inner thought that I want to become really, really good in this. And I want to live it with all my passion and curiosity. And that is leading to two outcomes. The first one, in the end, when I look back at the end of my life, would be that I made it, and I can leverage, or I was able to leverage this achievement to being in best service for my clients, and on the other hand, at the same time, being a good teacher to others, to help them and share this knowledge, and also inspire people to get as good as they want to become. And but more likely, it is that I fail this mission, and but that is no problem at all, because then I can teach everybody that I was so passionate and keen on reaching this goal, but it was never about the destination to actually reach this goal, rather than to have that journey and to enjoy that journey, and on the way to the destination, be curious and be like excited to learn something new every day in my craft, and to get better and better and better, and have more experience, and be really creative with all the knowledge that I have. And that is the thing. I want to do it all for the journey, but set this really high goal to never lose ambition and curiosity.
Yeah, that's extremely interesting and important. I think if you don't set high goals, it's hard to advance, I feel. I believe like the higher you aim, the higher you can go. Like if you reach one goal, I heard a YouTuber the other day saying he had a goal to get like 1 million followers, and then he reached it.
Yeah.
And
what then?
When he got it, it was like, it was like, what now? And it just went into depression because he just didn't know what was the next thing. So by not having high enough goals, and different goals as well, just like we talked in the introduction, like having personal goals or having ambitions on a, I don't know, family level or financial level. It could be different levels and different things, not just business, not just personal, but really different stuff. I think it's hard to advance in anything, because then you just get stuck at some point and you just feel like you go back. So yeah, totally agree on that.
Yeah. And when I look back as over the last couple of, 5 to 10 years, I was on the journey to get where I am now, and it was so exciting to always meet new people, and to always be in new kind of projects, and also challenging ones, and then bigger ones, and very creative ones. And so there was always something that was triggering me to learn more, and to even when something came up with a new client, or with a new photographer, it's always exciting to start with a good conversation, be curious about that person, and learn how they think, and be a good partner to your clients and also colleagues, and try to find that one thing that maybe helps to bring out that vision of this collaboration even more. And it's always different, and it's nothing that you can do like with a scheme, or like a set. What is that? You know what I mean? Like this formula.
Yeah.
And
Formula.
so this is also something that I learned, that I always want to grasp everything from the one that I'm working with, to dive into the world of this person and make the best out of this. But I think without this ambition, I probably wouldn't work on that with the same kind of passion, and I would do a job as usual, like I've always done. And it's for me, it's super exciting to find a new kind of way to deal with an image, and to have a new kind of approach from someone that I talk to, and like, hey, that's one way that I would love to try too, and let's see what I can translate from that and put it to my toolbox and work on an image the next time, and see if I can make use of this, or like just have it in the repertoire when I see the next image after that one. So it's always good to have choices, and to then see what the image says to you, and to go from there.
That's good. And how do you, like, do you write down your ambitions or goals, or do you go over them every now and then, or is it just something you keep in your mind and you go ahead and see how it goes?
Well, what I like to do on a very regular basis is that I do meditations, and I have these kind of I try to visualize things, and by visualizing my goals, they become somewhat real, and I can check how they feel to me. And when I do that on a regular basis, it feels very familiar, and it doesn't feel like too high ambition. Right? It just feels like, yeah, that's it, and I'm going to go for that. And this is something that I do on a very regular basis, yeah.
That's good. I never tried it. I should. I've heard about that technique from different people, not in the creative industry, but from outside, mainly in the business industry and entrepreneurship. But I've never tried it. Do you feel it's helped you? Have you tried it for like a long time, or is it something you've just started doing?
I did it unconsciously, many years ago, maybe 20 years ago. I started unconsciously, let's say, putting a lot of energy in things that I wanted to achieve or wanted to experience. And I didn't leave a doubt that these things happen. And sometimes it takes a little while or a long time, but I have to say that by being more conscious about it, it's very much easier. And by having experienced that these things work for me, because if you go through that experience in your mind many times, it becomes somewhat natural to you, and you can then you don't leave doubt that you reach that goal or that you can do it. And from there, it's not that hard to keep to that goal. But the thing that you need to do is to track, of course, if you are on the right way, and if you feel. But that's what I do in meditations. I do it. I feel into this experience, and as I think you notice when, or at least I do, but I notice when I'm off track, and I can then refocus. And whenever I am done with the meditation, I feel that everything's like smooth again, on track or balanced, and I can refocus on that, or I know what I need to change to get there. And but I'm curious if someone that is listening, if you're here now and want to share that, would be interesting to know if you visualize your goals or if you have some kind of technique. And even if you see that video later, it would be nice to have some thoughts of you in the comments. And I can only encourage to try that, but I understand that it's not for everybody. At some point I found this technique and I tried it, and I have to say that it really worked for me. And but there's another thing that I like to do. Now that I'm looking there, there's a big whiteboard in my room where I put some keywords every once in a while that have got some meaning to me, that remind me of things. And I don't write sentences or lists, but sometimes I just put a few words, and those words trigger thoughts.
Do you have like an example of a keyword, just if it's not too personal? But I'd be curious to see.
Sure. Do more, for example.
Good. Okay.
Or
have you? I'm curious about that, about keywords and meditation, because I've heard so many people do that, but they do as well journaling along it. Have you ever tried to do journaling to see how, like having written stuff, to see how you progress along the track?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Well, I did. I'm not doing it right now, but I did it for the course of over 1 year, I think. That I wrote down every day just 3 things in the morning that I would like to focus on that day, and in the evening I wrote 3 things that I'm thankful for. So to not only be like after the very high ambitious goals, but also be thankful for the smile of my wife or my son, or actually that it was a nice day outside. Easy things like that. Sometimes when I look back at it in the last moments of the day before I go to bed, whenever I was in a bad mood before, or like, I don't know, tense, or maybe just not relaxed, or in just lost in thoughts or whatever, or in a project, then these tiny moments, they help to say, hey, look, there were these things during the day, so it wasn't as bad as I just felt. It was a good day, actually. And sometimes this helps to, shift perspectives again and get you out of your head. So, but I wasn't journaling in a very, like, say, it didn't take me long, and it wasn't that detailed. I just tried to focus on what is that? To be grateful. What is that? Is there a noun for that? But you know what I mean. Things to be grateful for, and let's say some thoughts that I wanna accomplish today, and one other thing, and have I helped someone during that day? That's what I always put there too. Like, did I give someone an assistance in something, or did I give someone outside a smile instead of an angry face, or just things like that? Did I stay calm when there was some weird guy in traffic, and just these things. And
That's good. And if I can come back just to the perspective things, like shifting your perspective, it's extremely interesting how you say that, because a few days, because it was actually on the 31st of December, or not, on the 1st, I was with my girlfriend and a friend, and my girlfriend asked us, like, could you tell me 5 things you're proud of that you did or happened to you in 2021? And we were like, wow, well, 5 things should be easy. And then at the same time, I mean, for many people, 2021 has not been so great due to the situation. And I feel like everyone has been a bit complaining, and I'm included in that. I mean, my 2021 year was good, but it wasn't like the best. Though, after the question she asked, I was like, actually, it was quite good. It was hard to find 5 things I was proud of, like really important things. But it's really an interesting things to do, and I would encourage anyone who's been like, meh, 2021 wasn't so great, to just try and just to try and write like 3 to 5 things you're proud of that you did in 2021. I'm sure you're gonna find things, and it could be anything, honestly, on business level, personal level, financial, or just something stupid that you did and you're proud of, like I don't know, you went skiing for the first time in like 10 years and you're proud because you achieved that. For you, it was an achievement, and I think that's really good. Anyways, yeah, that was something I just wanted to add because it was funny. Just reminded of that moment we had with her when you talked about it.
Give us one.
Sure.
From your list.
One.
Or 2.
I was quite happy. Let's start with 1. And then I'll see about 2 if I can remember everything. 1 was money-wise. I was really happy because it was the best year I've had in business since 2016, since I stopped weddings.
Congratulations.
So that's cool. Yeah, that means my commercial photography is picking up the way wedding photography was doing. So I'm really happy about that.
Great.
Another one, what was it? And yeah, just some of the clients I've had, I cannot share names, but I've had a few clients that I was really, really happy about working with. So those 2 are on business level, but still, yeah, something I'm really proud of.
Very cool.
Because I've been working my ass off for the past 2-3 years to get into commercial photography. So really happy it's finally picking up and running in a new, different way. Boom. Which is why I'm really excited about 2022.
So let's hear. How do you set goals? What is your idea on that?
Yeah, it's something I wanted to talk about because I've not got around doing those for 2022, and I need to do them. So what I'm going to present now is something I need to keep in mind for like the next few days when I'm going to sit down, take a piece of paper, and finally take some time for me and setting goals for this year. To be really honest and frank about that, it's something I've learned like when I started photography, so in 2013, and then I totally forgot about it for a couple of years. And in 2017, I believe, when I started really to make the switch from wedding to commercial photography, it was extremely hard for me on a financial level. So I tried to find a side job. I had to do some training to start the job. And when I was doing the training, one of the person that was there to train us asked us to set goals and actually write down our ambitions. And I realized I had no place and nothing to do where I was doing that training. And which is why I want to share how I set goals and how it actually helped me. And from then on, I just realized photography was really what I wanted to do. So I use something extremely simple, which is called, quite known. It's the SMART method. SMART stands for, I'm going to read that because otherwise I'm not going to get it right. But for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. So when you try and define goals for the year, it's good to keep in mind just what you said before. So having your large ambitions in mind, like you want to become the best retoucher in the world. And I think that's good, but then are you going to achieve that within the next year? That might be a bit complicated. So you should break that down into smaller pieces and just try to find something like a goal that you can set for the next 3 months, another for the next 6 months, and then one for 12 months. And when you fix goals, you should try and aim to make something specific. So like, I want to become the best retoucher. So like within the next 3 months, I want to learn how to retouch beauty photography. Let's say could be a good thing that you can probably learn, at least get started within 3 months. I think you're not going to master it, but still you can learn within 3 months how to retouch beauty. Then to make it even more specific, you can use the second letter from SMART, so measurable. So let's say you want to learn beauty, but how can you really measure that you've learned how to retouch beauty? So let's say I want to be able to retouch a beauty image within 2 hours. That's something you can measure. Like I want to get industry standard quality within 2 hours. I don't know if that's doable for everyone, perhaps for you or someone else, or I don't know. For some it's 1 hour, for some it's 4 hours, but yeah, anyways, just try to define some time and see if you can get it. And then something that's attainable. So it comes along with just what I said. So if you define like, I want to retouch beauty within the next 3 months, one image in 30 minutes, I don't think that's really attainable. So you should definitely aim for something that, though it should be challenging, it should be doable. Because don't just set up a goal that you know you're going to get easily. It's not a goal. It's just flattering your ego.
Finally work on more than one layer.
Yeah. I'm going to get those curves, finally. I don't know what they're for, but I'm going to start using them.
Yes.
Yay. Yeah, and stop using frequency separation for everything. Sorry, Judy. I don't know. I just hate on that technique. Could be an interesting topic.
Yeah.
Then the next one is relevant. Because the way I interpret relevant, perhaps it's not the way it should be, but I think when you set up a goal, it should be relevant to your overall ambition and larger goals, but it should be relevant to you as well. So let's say if you're a photographer and one of your goals is to be able to retouch beauty photography within 2 hours in the next 3 months, is it something that's really serving the larger ambition, or is it something that you just want to get because, like, well, everyone does it? I think it's good to have something that's relevant. So, for example, if you're a beauty photographer, perhaps you should aim to find a retoucher that you can work with, so that then you can concentrate on actually shooting some more. And if you shoot some more, then perhaps you're going to get even better at what you do, instead of focusing on retouching because you feel like your retouching is crap. Well, then find a way to make your goal something that's really relevant to you or your business or your ambition as a whole. I think it's really important to take some time on the relevancies. That it's probably one of the most important things when you define a goal, is to find something that's relevant and not just like, oh, I'm going to do that because I feel like it could be a good idea. Good idea is good, but it's not good enough. And then the last thing is time-based. I started actually with that, but just give a time frame. If you just say, oh, I'm going to learn retouching, great. Well, when? And I think if you don't have a deadline, I'm sure we're all the same. There is actually a name for that. I don't remember the exact name. There is someone who wrote down a paper about that. But like, when you go to deadline, you're always gonna finish it up at the last minute. No one ever achieves everything like 1 month in advance, and usually you do it last minute. So give yourself a deadline so that you can plan things ahead. And like, if it's learning new stuff and you've got jobs coming one after the other, you've got to plan in your agenda some time off without any job, so that you can sit down, take the time to learn and improve, and really take the time to do it, and not just be like, oh, I'm gonna learn it someday, we'll see how it goes. And it's something I use to define my goals every year, because I like to have goals for a year, to then be able at the end of the year to go back and see what I've achieved and see if I actually managed to get some of the goals. And I usually do that every 3 months. So every 3 months, I'm going to go back to the goals I've set and also change them. Because if some of them were too easy, I'm going to make them more challenging for the rest of the year. Or if some of them are inachievable, I'm going to change them to something that I can actually do. So yeah, I think it's something that if you get lost along the way easily, and you're just like me and you like to do so many things, so many different things, I believe having goals is good, because then when you just feel lost and you feel like nothing is moving forward, you can just sit down, take your goals, and see what you actually wrote down and go back to them.
Sure. That's great.
Is it something that you've ever tried to do?
But maybe not.
Goals?
Yeah, I did. Sure. Maybe not in this order or with this technique in particular. But yes, of course, it is always a good idea to have these goals. But I tend to need those more for things that I don't like to do as much. Right? Yeah. So I don't have to motivate myself to improve in retouching. That's given. But the thing that, and I know you can relate to that, is getting the taxes done in time, for example. Like,
I was sure you were gonna get around
I needed to tell you.
You know what? Tomorrow at 5 p.m. I'm going to go and see a financial advisor, so that then I can have someone helping me out for this year.
That's right. Yeah. So you tackled it right away. That's great. And
yeah.
But that's the thing, once you decide to go for professional help with this, it is so much easier. Yeah. But still, you need to deliver your whole paperwork to a certain day, because otherwise this guy can't work. And just a spoiler alert, dude. And
I'm just gonna make a Dropbox and give him the link.
Yeah, but you need to fill this, right? And but that's the thing. And actually, that was one of the things that I improved on during the last years. I saw the benefit in doing this on time. I have to be honest, it doesn't happen every time. But I try to do it not on the last day, so maybe 15 days earlier, something like that. And then even if it takes another 5 days, that's fine. I'm still early, and I have a better feeling on this. Or the other thing is that I want to make sure that I have got enough time for the other things that I want to do. But that is sometimes, of course, a little challenging if you just sit there and say, well, I'm just going to do one more image, one more, and then I'm going to stop. But this is sometimes hard to do, and I don't know. But other than that, I set the goal to work out more, for example, and I said to myself, okay, I want to do it at least 3 times a week. And then I said, okay, to get there, I have to do it 7 times a week, every day. And I tried it, and I went for 7 days, and then I said, that was okay. I'm going to do 7 days more. And it ended up with a streak of, 120 days last year. And that was great. And then there was a day when I had to break this, series, and but then I started it again, and this was a great feeling to actually get to a point where I don't need motivation anymore, and that helped a lot with these goals, to be persistent.
Yeah.
And do it
And
no matter what.
Something that I do like having goals this way is I like to play games, and I feel to me having something that's measurable, then it's kind of like a game, like I've got to get the numbers. Like, for example, something I like to set is a yearly revenue. So then I know where I am during the year, and I know if how many jobs or how much I need to charge per month so that I can reach the goal. And that's something I do like. And at the end of last year, I tried to up the numbers so I could push myself even more. And I did actually manage to get those numbers. So I was really happy about that. And I just see it's not in a way to force myself to do stuff, but really to like even push me more. Because sometimes I know I tend to be lazy even for stuff I do like, or I'm going to just get lost in something I like, oh, that looks great. Like a child seeing butterfly in the grass, like, oh, that's nice. I'm going to go there. I'm just getting lost so easily in everything I do. So it's something that, for me, at least having goals is so important. And I don't think it's like necessary for everyone. And just like you said, having something even in your mind, or having a goals or a resolution that you set at the beginning of the year is great. So yeah, I just wanted to share that so that some people that are just like me could get help.
Great. Yeah, but on the same time, it's really nice to just be in the moment, no? Here and there, and to actually watch that butterfly and enjoy it.
That's true. And actually, for like, it's not the topic of today, but when I talk about creativity, I like to say, learn to do nothing, just learn to get bored. Because it's usually when you are bored to death that you've got the best ideas, because then your mind is just floating around, and that's when you get the ideas. So definitely pushing yourself is great, but then taking some real time off where you do nothing, just sit in the grass and look at butterflies. It's honestly the best thing you can do, and I just love doing that. So people take me for someone who's crazy, but I don't care.
That's great. Yeah, but that's true. Like the children do. And I see that every day with my son, that he is just in the moment and he's enjoying whatever he does. And he doesn't have that schedule thinking that we have. And that's something that he's a huge role model for me, to have these like moments of free floating and be just here and not anywhere else, and not in my thought, not in the future and not in the past, just there. That's great if that works.
And when you were talking before about meditation, I don't actually meditate like do the way you do it, and I think meditation is great, and you've got to find the way that works for you. But the way I found that works for me is usually something that centers me down, something that helps me calm down, because I'm always rush. Just like we were before the stream, I just got in time and got everything set up. And being able to meditate and just get myself down is something that helps me a lot. And I believe that if you're like me and get lost in your train of thought easily, it's something that's really helpful as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Agree on that. All right. Let me throw in another thought. And
sure.
I wanna start that with a quote that I believe many people have heard, but it never gets boring. It's by Wayne Gretzky, one of my idols from my hockey career. And I was thinking about him today when I was in the skating arena and tried my hockey stop, which is improving. But I gotta go a few more tries. Anyhow, the quote is, skate to where the puck is going to be, not where it has been. And that is something that relates to me with constant upskilling. And I mean that either in your profession, because I can only talk for me, but I believe that I'm never done learning retouching and learning more and learning to see better and learning new ways to improve images. And that being said, I know, as I said with my first goal technique that set a very high ambition, I know there's always something to improve, but I also like the thought of anticipating the next big thing or the next major improvements technology-wise, because this can change everything. And just to give you one example, like it's very important, I think, to know or to feel where your niche goes, where you feel that the creative industry goes, if we are talking about our universe here, and to educate yourself on this. And the other thing is, I think it's always great to, if you master one thing, you learn the next thing. And in my case, I started an MBA program it's more than a year now, I think precisely a year ago, and or maybe a little longer, I don't know. But I started that out of curiosity. I wanted to know how an MBA program would benefit me by knowing more about business, by knowing more about leadership, more about self-development, and just all these things that come together to understand business better, accounting and finances, taxes, and building new skills and work-wise.
I'm sorry, I'm just laughing because of taxes.
Yeah, that's your buzzword, and
that's gonna be the running joke.
And the other thing is educating myself on new styles, and but also what I find very interesting at the moment is like technology development in regards to Web 3.0. Like everything, when Mr. Zuckerberg announced Metaverse, I think a lot of desks shook quite heavily, that you think, what is he talking about? And are we going to go into the matrix? And what is going to happen? But things appear to make sense, and big industries are moving into this, and NFTs become a thing, and cryptocurrencies or blockchain technology is something that becomes a major adoption. And it feels like we are at the edge of something that is relatable to the beginning of the internet. So things are happening, and people are moving in, and it can be very interesting to think about how does photography and art translate into the virtual reality world. What happens, and how will people present themselves in there? What does it mean to have an avatar, and what does it mean to form new connections, and how can you transform your craft into this whole creator universe, and what happens? And it does make sense to think about that. And what I always like to do is, because I have a lot of time when I work, that's something that not everybody has, but I think retouchers do, or artists do. You have the possibility to surround yourself with things that inspire you. Is it like a podcast about a certain topic that enables me to learn at the same time, because I can still be completely focused on the image, but I can process some, like it's driving a car in a way, because I can speak to people while I drive the car, or I be on the phone, or but I can still concentrate on that, because some things are on autopilot, but the creativity part is the one that is the more active one, for me at least, because other things can work in the lizard brain. But to be able to educate myself while I work is a privilege that I really enjoy. And this is something that I do on a very regular basis. Like I have these podcasts that I listen to. I have a subscription to Blinkist, where I find that it's very handy to listen to some books that give me some insights that I want to research later. And as you said earlier today, reading is something that I do almost every evening. Just I don't read whole books, but like a chapter maybe, and then the next day and the next day and the next day. And so I that was one thing that I was really proud of last year, is that I managed to read a lot of books that I didn't do on a regular basis before. And you can, of course, also listen to books, but sometimes I think for me it's better to read books, actually, than to listen to them. Yeah. I love to listen to short ones, things like a podcast or like the summaries of books. That is something else that I can have something to chew on after listening. And the fun part of this is when doing that while retouching, it happened to me so often that when I looked back at the images a couple of days later, I knew exactly what I was listening to when I was retouching that part in the image, and so it's some kind of a memory thing that it's connected, and that helps also to memorize things. But that's a side effect. I don't know if anyone else feels like that, but it happened to me a lot of times.
Yeah, well, for the retouching part, I can kind of relate because I tend to listen to music or listen at Netflix on the side, and I tend to remember what series or what music I was listening to when I was retouching. Couldn't say like what lyrics at what part I was listening to, but definitely can remember the song. And I feel like for retouching or photography, it can also help set the mood as well, especially, even more for photography, but music is a good way.
Yeah, it can improve the speed of your retouching a lot.
That's true. Yeah, that's so true. And just to get back to because we had an interesting discussion this afternoon when prepping up for the today live. Just to get back to like learning new stuff and keep going to learning about what's coming next and trying to keep up with trends. When you presented that to me, I brought to you the name of Dave Hill, who's today is a car photographer. And I just wanted to get back to that because I feel that's an interesting story to share. He's a photographer I don't want to say I used to look up to because I still look up to him. I do still like what he does. But that's extremely interesting because I believe he was someone who was I wouldn't say one of the first, but probably just like Tim Tatter, one of the first to do like heavy compositing and really take advantage of digital art when other photographers in the commercial industry were still shooting films to get the best quality possible. Yeah. Dave Hill was creating stuff that was just out of this world. I remember I had watched a video of him showing a Photoshop file. He had so many layers. I just couldn't believe my eyes.
See?
It was crazy.
He knew that there's more than one. He knew.
Yeah, he knew about curves as well. That's crazy. I'm not sure about the taxis parts though, but I didn't ask him.
Maybe he was smarter than us. Yeah, I don't know.
Perhaps. He was looking at butterfly for much longer than us.
But you're right. I guess it was 2009 that I saw him the first time, and I knew that, and I tried to mimic his style with a photographer back then, and it was challenging. But I really liked the hyper realistic contrasts kind of imagery he made, and for that time it was something completely new that I've never seen before. Yeah. And but he pivoted a lot, right?
Yeah, nowadays he's shooting. Well, I don't know if he's still shooting film, but he went like the full opposite way from what he was doing. So he used to shoot like large campaigns with a lot of retouching and really heavy composite, and that was crazy stuff on the digital side of things. And then he went on to shoot digital film. Or digital film, not digital anymore, for car advertising. So it wasn't, well, I think it was a bit retouched, but I don't think it was heavily retouched, like very lightly. And nowadays he shoots only like lifestyle and cars, and it's totally different from what he was doing. And I feel like it's interesting because when you look at his work, you're like, okay, so at that point in time, like when we discovered him, he was really on the latest trend, doing stuff that people weren't doing. And that's probably one of the things that got him to the point where he's now. And then he went full circle back. And I could even say he was actually keeping with trend as well, because film is actually a trend.
Yeah, that's true.
Or at least in the past few years,
it's still
a trend.
Yeah, it is coming back.
Yeah. And having something that's more genuine, production that are not with lights all over the set, and something that's a bit more authentic as well, is definitely something that the industry is moving towards, or at least a lot of industries are asking for. And I just feel like, once again, he's just in advance on everyone, because he went back to that a few years ago, and people are going back now, or at least some people have been transitioning for the past few years, but I just feel like it was one of the first, because so many people were surprised to see his work change so much. And yeah, I mean, sometimes you don't feel like you're setting trends or moving along trends, but you actually do. So it's definitely great to follow trends, but also to try and do stuff that others don't, because you never know where it can lead. Yeah, I think it's interesting to try new stuff as well.
I'm just gonna check on him quickly, because I need to know what he's doing now. Because maybe he does something completely different now. But he does a lot of
doing cars.
Cars, yeah.
A lot of cars and a lot of lifestyle. I just put the link in the chat for people if they want to check out. I don't know if I can find I'm gonna check if I can find an image of his previous work, because I don't think you can find anything on his website anymore.
Probably not, no. But go for like the 2029 or something, 2009, 2010 stuff. Shall we? Do you want to share your screen?
There is I can put it in the link here in the chat.
Okay.
I just linked to he's actually got a composites page with the Fiat 500 campaigns and some other stuff. Like there's one with Shaun White, where Shaun White is riding the road, but it's on a white backdrop. That's the kind of work I actually knew him for. And when you look at his current work, it's so much different. But it's so interesting, because I like what he does now. His work is amazing, and what he did in the past as well. You just feel like two different photographers, but still two amazing photographers.
And he has a son now.
Yeah.
You can see in his bio.
Butterflies with his son.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, just wanted to share that, because we talked about it this afternoon, and I felt like it was interesting to bring back.
Yeah, and it also fits to your next point, right?
The last 2 points, which I'm going to try to bring into one. So one is to surround yourself with inspiring people, and that's something I can only encourage you and everyone for this coming year, for 2022, to do. Try to find new people to surround yourself, and find motivation through others, through people that you work with, through people that you chat with, just like we do together. I mean, I do like our conversation and how we can inspire each other, whether on the live or off the live. I think it's great. And when I talk about surrounding yourself with people that are inspiring, just one love. Just one note about that is, it doesn't mean you've got to meet people in real life. It could be just like we do through Skype. It could be through Instagram. It could be people that you don't know and you just
absolutely
read from
like a book
or YouTube or whatever, like
podcast.
Yeah, podcasts, platforms to learn online or anything. Honestly, just find not mentors, but like people that really inspire you and try to learn and look at everything they've done and everything you can learn about them and just try to get their knowledge and everything you can. That's personally how I grew the most. Is it was just like finding someone I liked what they were doing for some reason, whether that was the work or personal stuff or whatever, and just take everything and learn everything I could from them that was interesting for me. What to do, what not to do, what I liked, what I didn't like, so
Absolutely.
that then I could educate myself. There is a saying that goes like, you are the average of the 5% you're with the most. And I feel it's so true. Like, try to get time with 5 people that you really admire and spend the most
and
time
that lift
with
you
them.
up, that inspire you, that cut the negative shit. And sorry, I got emotional, but
yeah, no worries. I'm gonna do the same.
Well, that's the thing, right? That's the thing. You need to be surrounded, especially as a creative, and it is so important to have your head free. Of course, there's shit that happens in lives, but it's not that you have to focus on the shit all the time, right?
Yeah.
Energy goes where really focus goes where energy. Otherwise, how does that work? Energy
I think it
goes
where
focus is. Focus flows, blah. Yeah, someone might have it right and put it in the chat.
But yeah, I see what you mean, and it's like having great surroundings is so important, and people are the first thing that you need to take care of to get great and positive energy around you.
Yeah, so, absolutely. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, then the last thing. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I just said it's true.
Got you. I'm so sorry. Yeah. And the last thing, just to wrap up the point and what we talked about with Dave Hill, is just, and even actually with the butterflies, we took the wrap up much earlier, is just to like do things and leave some space for the unexpected, because you never know what's going to happen. When I talked about goals earlier, it's not to say do the goals and don't do anything else. It's like just something to help you out, and having people to aspire to inspire you, it's good as well. Learning new stuff, like you just said, and finding new trend is great as well. But sometimes you just have to go with the flow and see where it leads, and you never know what you can discover. So yeah,
that's a great wrap up. Hey, how about we take a look at the chat? I saw some things coming in. And
a good fashion library is how I would do it. Yeah, sure. That's a good idea as well, just to have a set of images that you really like and go back and look at them on a regular basis. It's something I actually used to do in the beginning. I should do it again, but it's something I do like to do, having like a set of paintings and books and images I like, so that I know I can get my eyes used to it, and then it becomes second nature to match my work to those images.
Yeah,
that's something that's really helpful as well.
Absolutely. Let's check. What is that? What do you think about starting photography as a pro in 2022? Hey, if not now, when then? Right? If you feel passionate for that, you go for that. And you can start it as a side gig in the beginning, but if you feel it's right, you make the transition. And that's the thing. You have to go all in at some point, and you will feel it, I think. Right?
Yeah, and if you don't do it, no worries, I'll take the work for you.
You always have to think. I think you always have to think about what do you have to lose. Right? So life is not risk-free, and you need to do some things to achieve things. And if you feel like you want to do the photography stuff, and you think about, well, sometimes it helps to visualize yourself to the end of your life and looking back, and you see that if you made that step, you will be happy about that. And even if it's like you decide to do that and you do it for, I don't know, 5 to 7 years and it sucked, and you say that, crap, I'm gonna go back to the job that I did before, you can at least say that you tried and you went for it and you did it. But if you don't, you will most certainly in the end say yourself those 2 words that I don't want to hear that much in the end of my life. This, what if? I don't want to do that. And what if? And if you can live with that what if, it's probably not what you want to do. But if you're curious and you go for it, you do it. And I'm pretty sure that you will get more confident on the way. Let's go. Yeah, true.
If I may add something, is when I'm still someone who's asking a lot of questions, like asking myself before doing. I tend to be like, what if that happens? And what if I lose that client? And what if he does not like my work? And so on, and try to find everything possible not to do something. And I actually learned something by being self-employed for, almost 9 years today, is just do the stuff and see later. If you have to ask, is it a right time to start photography as a business today? Or what should I do to get more clients? Well, then the answers are quite easy. Just get to work and you'll see what happens. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If it works, it works. If you don't throw something to the wall, it's never gonna stick to it. So
that's true, and that you can do that with your SMART method, right? You can do that and apply that to this. Set some reachable goals and go one step at a time. And the other thing that is, I guess, very important hardware is be patient. Be patient. It doesn't happen overnight, but you will most likely. Quentin, you're not moving. Now you're moving again. Are you? Yes. Okay.
Sorry. I'm moving. Left, right.
The image was frozen. And so...
No, it's just me. I'm slow because...
okay. That's okay. I didn't know. That was good. You got me on that one.
I can freeze.
All right. But there's also a question from Lina. And she asked if we could give some advice on finding work for retouchers and how to get commercial jobs. Well, that's a good question, right? And of course, it's the same with starting photography. You have to go for it. And if you don't have jobs right now, it might make sense I suppose that you have a portfolio, and if you do have a portfolio, you pick the ones that match to the people that you want to work with, and you get in connection. And sometimes it just makes sense to collaborate on a free job and see if you can work together. To make sure that everybody has the good feeling about this partnership, and then work will follow. I'm pretty sure about that. And the other thing is, as we talked about last episode, you reach out to people, and you reach out to a lot of people, and those that reply are the first ones that you have a chance to work with. But it's not enough to reach out to 5 people and expect that everybody wants to work with you. Yeah,
and if you need actually more advice on the marketing stuff and everything, it was actually the last episode. So there is, I believe, a lot of stuff to take from that episode, because it was quite packed with so much details on how to look for companies, how to look for clients to work with. And I believe we covered the subject and topic quite in depth. So there is a lot there. And just like you said, and how I said last time, if you reach out to people, no matter how you do it, just try to do some A/B testing just to see what works and what doesn't, and try to find the best way that works for you.
Yeah.
Because something that's going to work for someone is probably not going to work for everyone, no matter how much we can try everything and we can give you as much advice as we want. It still has to match your personality and your work in the way that you market yourself. So,
and you have to feel confident with this and good with it. And this will translate to the ones that you talk to, because the ultimate thing that everybody wants as a client is they want their vision to become reality. And they have to believe that you are the one that can deliver this. And it's not only craft, it's also personality. And if you are self-aware, and if you're just you, it's the best thing that you can use to advertise for yourself.
Yeah.
All right.
And perhaps, just one last thing about that. When you reach out to people, just make sure to show that you actually are writing to that person and that you did your research before. As a photographer, when I get emails from retouchers, the most annoying thing I can receive is hi without my name after it, and then something that's just a template that's been copied and pasted without anything that's relatable to my work. I still do receive some stuff about like, we can clip path your e-com work, and I'm like, I don't even advertise e-com work. I do it for some clients and I don't advertise about it. So why do you reach out to me regarding e-com work? Or, we can do retouching for fashion shoots. I'm like, where do you see fashion on my website? Just show that you have some real interest in the retoucher or the photographer or whatever company or person you're targeting and emailing. So that's something that's really important, because we are all the same and we just like to see people give us attention. And especially when we don't have much time, we want to see that we don't have to educate others that we want to work with. We just want to get to work. So yeah.
Amen.
That's what I had. Yeah, amen.
Great. So, I guess we covered it all. We had, I think, a good conversation about ambition and goals. And, as we said, if you have an idea of what you think is valuable to the people that watch this video later, please put your thoughts into the chat and make sure to smash that like button on this video so that we can have some traction on this show. And that being said, I guess starting from the next episode, this is going to be aired as a podcast as well. We can reveal that now. And this is going to happen within the next couple of weeks. And we'll be back in 2 weeks with the next episode. And until then, thank you all for watching. And if you don't have another question right now, we will call it a day and see you next time. So let's check if there's a few more thoughts coming.
So sad not to speak English. Well, so I guess that's someone from my channel. If it's in French, just one note. After the last episode, I thought it was extremely good content, and I'm probably gonna take some parts of it and translate it in French and make separate videos. So don't worry, I'm gonna make some content in French as well, because I know I've not been extremely regular on my channel. So don't worry, I'm gonna get back to it.
And I will work on my French.
I'm not sure I'm gonna work on my German though, but sorry.
Yeah, okay.
I should.
I had some years of French, but it's a couple of Thursdays ago. All right. Thank you all for watching, and thank you, Quentin, for making the time again. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you, Jan.
Spending time with you and talking about all these things. And it was good. So see you all next time, and have a good week. Yeah. Good start of the year. Set your goals and ambitions. And again, let us know what you think, and we're happy to have your feedback.
Awesome. See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.